Susul.
Hello, and welcome to Under the Plum Bob, a podcast about all things related to that EA game known as The Sims. We are Team Llama here. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Melly.
And I'm Melissa.
And
We're half asleep. It's late.
Melly's a sleepy bear today.
I turned into a newscaster, so it's okay.
Breaking news.
Not really. Wanna know what happens in almost every Sims game?
You die.
You die.
Correct.
Death is everywhere.
Death is a
Literally.
constant. Although, so with death also comes a fun NPC. That's just in time for scary season.
Yes, welcome to our spoopy Halloween episode with very scary. Oh.
I'm terrified.
I'm not white, so I'm not gonna do that.
Melly's like, get me out of here.
Oh, Melly just left the podcast. Bye.
What are we talking about this creepity crawlity Halloweeny episode?
Grim
Bill
Reaper.
Grim Reaper.
He's in pretty much every single Sims game. He changes his look. We love a stylish boy who changes his look every time.
I just kind of thought of something. In Spanish, there is this saint called La Santa Muerte, and he looks exactly like the Grim Reaper.
Ooh.
Like muerte is death, right?
Yeah. So it's not a god, it's a saint. And people pray to him for good luck and
He has a
when
little
they
rose
want
crown.
something. Yeah. I don't know why I just made that connection, but that's your heritage lesson for the day.
I mean, the
like
Grim
him.
The Grim Reaper is present in a lot of mythologies across time and space. Other beliefs hold that the specter of death is only a psychopomp.
What?
I'm reading off the Wikipedia, so I'm going to cut that part.
It's like, what was that word?
I don't know. Death is most often personified as a male form, as it has in all of the Sims episodes. Although in certain cultures, death is perceived as female. For instance, Marzana in Slavic mythology, Dumavati in Indian mythology, or La Catrina in Mexico. And La Catrina is rumored to be the mother of Bonehilda, which
What?
last week is what... couple weeks ago is what Cowplant talked about, our Bonehilda episode.
The saint is also a girl. La Santa.
Oh, have you
She's a girl.
seen Book of Life?
Yeah,
I haven't.
it's the thing that Coco copied off of, right?
Yeah. It is why I didn't see Coco for a while, because I was pissed at the specific. I can't even say it.
Specificity?
No, suspicious. The suspicious timing of, this kind of not as well-known company makes a, under Day of the Dead holiday movie, doesn't get nominated for jack shit. Pixar makes one, and suddenly it's nominated for everything 3 years later.
I haven't seen it yet.
They're very different, but I was...
Right. I was there for a while, and then I figured, you know what? More content about this holiday, this culture, I'm here for it. And I like both movies a lot.
It's a fun holiday. It's a very long holiday. A lot of people think that it's just one day, but it's a multiple day event. I think it's 4 days. You have the initial day where you set up your altars and stuff for your whole family. And then after that, each day is assigned to a specific stage of life. So the 1st of November is for children and infants. And then the one after that is for the elderly, I believe.
Aw, that's so nice. Like, that's not, I mean, we don't have a specific holiday for that in, I don't know, pop culture, Christianity. I'm not the person who should be speaking on behalf of Christianity or Catholicism. I am former, I am Reformed Catholic.
I think it's more like culture thing and not much of a religion. Because I know a lot of Catholics that don't do Day of the Dead, but majority of the non-Christian Mexicans that I know celebrate.
Cool.
Christians don't like it because it's a good technically celebrating death, and they associate it with the devil, which is stupid. But
it's a sweet holiday where you get to remember people who've passed.
Apparently, according to the Wikipedia page, as I white-splain this to you, it comes from Aztec mythology. So, cultural over religious, I suppose you could say.
And there was Sims 4 did do, I don't know if they do it every year, but one year they did do kind of a Day of the Dead celebration in game where you could go, you had to go collect the sugar skull cookies.
I think we talked about that a little bit in our Halloween episode.
We've covered it in a previous episode. I don't remember which one, but we've definitely talked about it. And that content is still available in game. So you can go find that and have sugar skulls and kind of Dia de los Muertos. Is that correct? Okay. Correct-ish. I'm doing my best. That content is still available in game.
Sugar skulls? Like sugar skull?
I want to. I want them to taste good.
It's literally just sugar.
Is it just sugar cookies?
No, the sugar skulls are like sugar packed into a sugar skull mold, and then you pop them out and you ice them with icing.
Damn.
It's pure sugar, and as a kid, that was like
crack.
I'm gonna say my. Yes. It's a lot of sugar. But they're so good.
I'm about it.
Diabetes. You know, makes sense though, because Mexicans have one of the higher diabetes, diabetic, obese rates in the country. Because we eat a lot.
Are we attributing that to sugar skulls exclusively?
Yes. And Christmas. A Mexican Christmas is a cavity-filled Christmas.
Interesting. I have no segue, but let's bring it back to Grimm.
Sorry, I got carried away.
It's a good tangent, and I wanted to have a good segue to bring it back. You know what happens when you have diabetes? You die. Maybe not.
Good.
No.
And who shows up? The Grim Reaper.
There he is. I want to know about him way back in the day. Should I do Live in Large because I'm doing 3? And Melly only wants to do 4?
Yeah, you just want to do 4? Or do you want to do 4 and 1?
That's fine. She can do 1.
Okay.
I spoke way too much right now anyway, so I'm good.
I disagree.
She's done for the tangent.
I'm done.
It's educational.
I am clocked out.
Melissa and I weren't going to bring that kind of content. We're too white for that. And too white and too not religious for that.
Yeah. My culture is a shamrock. That's it. I think I've said this on the show before.
I mean, shamrocks are cool. You get that McDonald's shake.
We do. That's part of Irish heritage. It's very important to us.
We don't get a McDonald's shake.
You get sugar
Culture Day
cookies.
at school was like, here, kid, wear green, and here's a shamrock, and talk about leprechauns. That's your history. That's your family history. So, yay, Irish. I didn't get to go this year, but someday I'll get there. Anyway.
Death.
So our dear Grimm did not appear in the base game of Sims 1, but he does appear in the first expansion pack, The Sims Live in Large. He appears when a Sim dies, but he also appears and rings your doorbell if there are more than 5 jack-o'-lanterns on your lot. When the Grimm appears, he will move over to the dead Sim, wave his scythe, which is that big knife on a staff. Google it. It's spelled Scythe. It doesn't sound like it's spelled. It looks like it sounds like scythe, but that's a a video chat, I think. He's got his big, tall, it's like, okay, a scythe other than Grim Reaper is like a farming implement, but he's
It's like
got
a giant
one.
hoe.
It's a big old hoe. So
The
he
Grim
swings his
Reaper
big
has
dirty hoe.
Yeah, yep.
And any adult sim can plea with the Grim Reaper to attempt to save the dead sim's life or the dying sim's life. And it just depends on the whim of the Grim. If the Grim Reaper is in a bad mood, Sim's going to die regardless. If the Grim Reaper is in a good mood, he will challenge the pleading Sim to a game of rock, paper, scissors. If the Sim loses, the dead Sim will be resurrected as a zombie. If they win, the dead Sim will be resurrected. So you've got 3 ultimate outcomes here: dead, back to life, or if you plead, if you say, please, can I like attempt to save this person, and you lose, the Grim Reaper's like, haha, got you, turning your loved one into the undead. Bye. So
These are all completely normal things. We know.
Have you ever thought about it? Like what you would do if your significant other turned into a zombie? Like, would you kill them, or like would you?
I would fucking run
thought
away.
about it a lot,
Run.
actually.
The zombie apocalypse, I would not last. I know this, and I hope I would get turned early, because I don't know how well I would do in it.
I want to survive, but I don't know how I'd feel if like my husband turned into a zombie. I'd feel bad, but I'd kill him. He'd want that for us.
I think the character was Michonne on Walking Dead. I stopped watching the show like a couple seasons in, but there was that woman who just was dragging like her zombie loved ones on chains, and she had like cut off their arms, so they were just like big scary bodyguards.
That seems worse somehow.
I
don't know why.
None of it's great.
There's no winning here.
There's no winning here, especially when you play rock, paper, scissors with death. So Grim has an admirer. You may know her. Her name is Bonehilda. Bonehilda will try to get Grim's autograph whenever he is present and she is out of her closet.
Can I ship them? Is that... Am I allowed? I think I ship it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They'd be great together. In The Sims Superstar, the Grim will not come if your Sim dies in the skydiving simulator.
That seems to me like that was a stupid death and I don't support it. I'm not showing up.
Right? He's like, no, don't even. You're not even worth my time. If the Grim comes to reap a Sim during a fire, it is possible for the Grim to catch on fire, wherein the game will temporarily treat him as a normal Sim, and he may perform the panic animation and could even die. If he dies, the player can briefly see in the... Rewinding. He may perform the panic animation and may even die himself. If the Grim dies, the player can briefly see him in a dark, naked human skin, still wearing his hood. He will immediately respawn a few tiles away and return to reaping Sims. Interesting.
It's a terrifying image.
But so is that him dying, or is that like his replacement, like immediately coming?
Or is his cloak just burning off and he's like, well, fuck. And then he like has to go get a new one.
I wonder if there's multiple ones. Like in The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
There was multiple Reapers. It was. I miss it.
Because of the verbiage used in some of the other games that they in here, I'm going to say it might just be, there might only be one Grim. Because in almost all these games, they say that you can't move him in because if you move in the Grim or do anything with him, the game like freaks out pretty much. And the only way to fix the glitching that causes when you have, because there's one Grim for the entire game, he doesn't respawn. So if you add him to your home, the game breaks. So then you have to uninstall and reinstall it
up.
So I think there's only one Grim. Is my theory.
There's only one Grim in our hearts. What about Sims 2, the undeniably best version of The Sims?
I mean, come on.
I think Julia would beg to differ.
I'll fight Julia and I'll fight Ava.
I know
I love
Julie's
them. They are
asleep
my
right now,
friends.
but
They are my friends, but I will hunt them. So Sims
hunt
2,
them?
hunt them. I meant fight, but I said hunt instead. I
But
swear
we are
this is.
haunting.
I swear this is only tea. I promise. Anywho, he's a Cancer. He's a Cancer. His favorite band is the Styx. He's a BA in human development from the University of Hawaii. This version
Amazing.
of the Grimm is just, living his best life.
He's
Can we
extra.
please just pause? His favorite band is Styx.
Yep, like the river Styx.
The River Styx! And the Styx! The band! I love it. I think it's great.
I don't get it.
There's a band, the real band called the Styx.
In Greek mythology, in order to get to Hades, you had to go down the river Styx. It was the name of the river to get you to Hades.
And there is a band from like the 70s, 80s called Styx, and they're like synth pop. They're Domo Origato Mr. Roboto. It's that song.
I think I'm too young to know who they are.
Fair. Or you're just way cooler than either of us.
Well, I'm a 90s baby. So this is like 20 years before.
My parents listened to it, and that's how I know of them.
I know that song. I don't think I can name another one.
I like the bangs. He has nice
Come
bangs.
sail away, come sail away, come
Okay,
sail away with me. Okay.
Melissa wins this music round.
Duh.
Per our previous Sims 2 deep dives, episode 12, Jesus. I think it's a cow plant episode.
Nope, it's a llama episode.
Never mind, it's a llama episode. On Nervous Subject, Grim Reaper has a son. Suspected we need a paternity test to be... it's probably nervous.
Take him to the Maury show.
Mm-hmm. Anala Spector has memories of woohooing the Grimm. Stories she could tell. You can't
we go deep into it in episode 12, so check out that episode for all of our kind of specter speculations.
Nice phrasing. You can't woohoo the Grimm, it will crash your game. Using Tombstone of Life and Death, which is actually a bonus episode on our Patreon that we have, just low-key slipping that in. You can't have a baby with the Grim Reaper. You can, cheat it so you can create a baby with the Grim Reaper. That baby will often have light hair, light blue eyes, and black hair. And I think it's the face template of... It looks like Bella Goth, because there's only, 3 faces in Sims 2, because... old game. But I think it looks kind of like Bella Goth. Just with blue eyes, black hair, lighter skin tone. And as I said before, you cannot add the Grimm to your game. It will break it. And it's really hard to uninstall Sims 2 nowadays because it's hard to get a hold of it. So I would and then you have to edit it to make it work with our current computer. So I highly suggest you avoid making for Sims 2, adding him in there. You don't want to go through that process. With the University expansion, you can bribe him to resurrect the dead Sim with the Resurrectonometron. That's a mouthful. So it's something you can get from the Paranormal Career Track. This is a little different from other career rewards and it allows Sims to offer Grim Reaper money to bring back loved ones or pets if their earner gravestone is in the neighborhood. However, as with Sims 2, this was also with Sims 2 also had the fortune teller where you could get a blind date. If you give them not a lot of money, you will get poor results. If you give them more money, you will get closer to the results you want. So I suggest if you're willing to make a deal with death, have some money. Just ka-ching or motherload yourself to bringing your loved one back.
Sims 2 was a wild ride.
Sims 2 did not care about your feelings, but also kind of did. I don't... if the Sim dies, these were always fun to get, depending on what kind of player you were. If this last Sim on the lot dies, you kind of get sarcastic, sassy messages from the Grim Reaper. And he'll also interact with that just stuff before he leaves. I've had him like, oh look, the sim is using. Oh look, Grimmer's using the bathroom. He's watching TV. He's eating the leftover food in the fridge. That's nice. Somebody should read it. And I do have an example of one of the messages. Melissa, would you want to read this part?
I'd be happy to. If the point of playing The Sims 2 was to kill off all of your Sims, then you would be the world champion. But unfortunately, the way things stand now, The Sims 2 is still a life simulator. You could actually exit the lot without saving and maybe try this household again. Or, if you were trying to kill your Sims, and we aren't saying that you were, then feel free to move another family into this lot.
No, you
Thanks,
just have the
Sims
best.
2.
You just have the best voice. What will you read?
I got
Now
a little
it's time.
GLaDOS in there, up in my brain.
GLaDOS is the best way to read these sarcastic messages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, this test says you're a bad person. Funny, we weren't even testing for that. I love GLaDOS. She's such a bitch, but for a good reason, at least in the second one. Oh yeah, the Grim can show up in 2 different ways when a sim dies. It depends on how the sim's aspiration, because Sims 2 is all about the fact that you could actually die of old age, and aspirations, what you want your life to be. So if your aspiration was from you either failed, it's in the red, or it's green, the Grim Reaper would show up, all dramatic like. Music would play, smoke would show up. And he would show up an empty hourglass, like, your time is up. And then your sim would try to, like, take it back and flip it over, like, oh God. And then the Grim would take it back, flip it over, like, fuck you, and then point towards, like, get out of here. And then your sim would just disappear. And a plain urn or a grave is left there. If you had a gold or platinum aspiration before you died, the Grim would show up wearing a pink Hawaiian lei. White smoke would come after him. There'd be 2 zombie hula girls that really just look like hula girls. They didn't look like zombies. Hawaiian music would play. He'd point to the dying Grim in like a non-aggressive way. And the sim would be like, oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm so sad or scared. And Death would like open his arms, give him like a tiki drink. And then like, oh, your bags are here. And then your sim would just like fade into the happy afterlife. And then the urn would be gold and white. And the grave would have their aspiration on it. Really bringing that Hawaiian university to his show.
I mean, he studied there. He's clearly an expert.
He really just fell in love with the culture, while he was there, and just decided to bring it to his work life. That's why he is in the position he's in.
Absolutely. Dress for the job you want.
Which is Hawaii. Sims can plead with their Grim to save their loved one. The success is pretty much directly linked to the relationship. So if your Sim is like, I just met him today, the Grim Reaper is like, that's not good enough. Also, if you had Sims 2 free time, your Sims can ask the genie to give them power to cheat death. And that would, so when it came time to plead for your own life, you would automatically succeed. Which is a nice trick. If you were a good witch, from Apartment Life, you can cast Expello Mortis. They'll banish the Grim Reaper from and save the dying Sim, so you can just, like, yeet the Grim Reaper out of existence.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Evil witches can cast, oh, good lord, Vivicus Zombie on the tomb or urn of a Sim, and that Sim will become a zombie.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I like how Apartment Life just kind of, like, fucking threw in witches, but it's still, like, fun stuff.
Here you go. Have some witches.
Apartment Life was like, here's spiral staircases and witches. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. Take note, Sims 4. Take note.
We want it. But that was also the last expansion Sims 2 got, so maybe they're just waiting.
Okay, Sims 2 life stories. If a Sim successfully saves a Sim from the Grim Reaper, a message from the Grim Reaper will appear at the top right of the screen saying, "You intrigue me, mortal. I am going to hang out here for a while to find out how you beat me." The Sims who defeated the Grim Reaper will then greet the Grim Reaper, and then the Grim Reaper will stay at the Sims' house for a while and play chess.
Sure.
Oh, they're friends now.
That's some way to escape death. Befriend death. In the Sims 2 console, all Sims that die will be reborn as ghosts, where they can find the Grim Reaper standing at the front of the lot where they can challenge him to a fiddle contest. Sims that have a higher creativity skill and have died when in Platinum Mood have a higher chance of winning. If the Sim wins, then the Grim Reaper will disappear. As a ghost, the Sim is most likely to have the aspiration goals of good, to return to life; bad, to fail the fiddle challenge and lose against death. If the player wishes not to choose the fiddle challenge or simply gives up, they can pay a fee of 100 simoleons to return to life. That's cheap.
So cheap.
Interesting thing about the fiddle, apparently, canonically in mythology, Death or the Grim Reaper usually has a violin.
Oh, so it's not just a Devil Went Down to Georgia reference. The Devil Went Down to Georgia is a reference to that.
Yes. Yeah. The violin has long been seen as the devil's instrument. The devil as fiddler theme crops up in folklore. The modern violin, as we know it, evolved in the 1500s and, when used as a folk instrument, often accompanied dancing, which was frowned upon in the Protestant. So it was just like
dancing is the devil's.
Yeah, that is
movement.
Work of the devil. Yeah, pretty much. So
am I the Grim? I play the violin.
I have a violin over there. I can see it from here.
We are Death. Confirmed.
Yes. Team Death.
Let's talk about The Sims 3.
Let's talk about The Sims 3. So, the Grim Reaper in The Sims 3 had little backstory and never really appears outside of death sequences, with a couple exceptions. You can move the Grim Reaper into your household, or you could until they patched that option out of the game. Or if the player owns the Door of Life and Death, which is an item you could get from the Sims 3 store. Placing it on any building allows the player to summon the Grim Reaper, providing a number of interesting interactions, including reincarnating Sims. You can use the door as a genetic merger to create a baby with any other Sim the current one is acquainted with. Executive yike. Requesting this option will result in the Sim, regardless of gender, undergoing a cryptic pregnancy. Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
That would make the 100 baby challenge so much easier, though.
Right? It's like, hey, come on over. Come on, knock on my door. We'll be waiting. Okay.
The life and death door.
Yes. So yeah, reincarnation, genetic merger, or lastly, the door can be used to challenge the Grim Reaper to a guitar duel. If the Sim is level 4 or higher in that skill, doing so will cause the Reaper to appear with a skeletal guitar in hand, and a musical battle between him and the Sim will proceed. The Sim winning the guitar duel yields this Sim the Don't Fear the Grim Reaper moodlet and a death flower. But if they lose, they will be attacked and possibly killed by the pit monster living under the Reaper's doormat. What the fuck?
That doesn't.
What the fuck?
Losing seems like such a bad option.
Hey, man.
You gotta prove your rock and roll somehow, I suppose.
That's hardcore. It's hardcore. Jeez. So yeah, that's a little bit in The Sims 3. The Reaper in Sims 3 has a skin tone of midnight black. He wears a black hooded robe. He has a very deep voice, but if you were able to move the Grim Reaper Sim into your household prior to that patch, they will have a voice of the average pitch of voice 1. The reason for this is unexplained, but my theory is that, in the underworld, you have to have a really cool Batman low voice, but then if you move in and start your own sitcom, Me and the Reaper, come and knock on our door.
Clark Kent's just a regular guy when he's not Superman.
He's just this is just my brother Grimm. He's just a regular guy. He just wears that hood all the time.
He's
got
just
like a normal
goth.
voice.
He's just a little goth
Anyway,
guy.
just a little goth. That's the title of the episode. Just a little goth. When your sim dies, the Grimm will reap the spirit and turn it into a ghost, which was the first time that happened in the Sims series. Sims can no longer plead for a deceased Sim's life, but after a certain patch in Sims 3, they will need to play chess with him and win. The Grim Reaper iteration may have logic skill points anywhere from 3 to 5. Wow. The Grim Reaper in this iteration could have logic skill points anywhere between 3 to 6 points. In The Sims 3, you'd also have the Death Flower. We talked about the Death Flower in previous episodes when we talked about death in general. If the deceased Sim has a Death Flower in their inventory, they will automatically give it to the Grim Reaper after becoming a ghost, and their lives will be spared in exchange for the flower. And I think you could use a Death Flower in pleading for another Sim's life, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. Grimm just wants flowers. You can be punk rock and want a flower.
Yeah, he's just a little goth. Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Love that aesthetic. I really like this fact. The Grimm will refuse Sims who die accidentally if they have the unlucky trait. Apparently, their life, quote, provides too much amusement for him. So Grimm's like, nah, we'll give you another shot. You're fun to watch.
I watched you fall down the stairs so many times. Do it again.
Do it again for my amusement. Melly relates.
Big time. Like, I wouldn't be good at the whole chess playing and fiddle playing, but maybe I wouldn't die anyway because I am very clumsy and unlucky, so I have value to him.
Wait, Melly, I do have a question. Do you actually play the violin?
Yeah, I played it since elementary school.
Same. How many times
do people... It's the first instrument I played.
Oh. How often do people ask you if you can play Devil Went Down to Georgia?
Never. People in Georgia don't know that I play the violin. It's a secret.
That's the first fucking question I get whenever people find out. They're like, can you do that fiddle part? And I'm like, fuck no, it's super hard.
I always bring up the pepperoni pizza thing, and no one ever understands what the fuck I'm saying. And I'm like, you never did the pepperoni thing? And like, they just look at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know what this is, and now I need to.
It's how you, like, I guess, tune your violin. You'll move the bow up and down on each string, but as you do it, you'll say pepperoni pizza, and then you'll fiddle it to the syllables, and then you'll keep doing that with every string.
It's kind of a way to, like,
pepperoni
we're teaching
pizza, pepperoni
pizza, and then you keep going, and
it's a good way to teach, like, 4th graders how to, like, bow movement when you're tuning.
Elbows up. Ooh. Elbows up.
Get the rosin on the string and bow. Get the rosin on the bow.
This has been Violin Talk with Under the Thumb Bob. I love that you guys not only both play the violin, but are finding this out now that each other has played the violin.
Well, I don't tell anyone. It's a secret. Like, everyone knows I can play the piano and the drums, but not the violin.
Big news, Melly. The world now knows that you play violin.
I've been exposed.
Cut this whole section.
Hide our secret. Hide our, not our shame, but our secret.
All I'm saying is if the FBI comes knocking through your window, I did not send them.
All right. So the next fact is already making me cry. I am tearing up reading this. Pets in The Sims 3 who, I mean, it has been said they're not as good as Sims and Pets 2 for many reasons, but in The Sims 3, pets can harass the Grim Reaper and save their master's life if they're friends with their master. So there's a 35% chance the pet will harass the Grim. There's an additional 10% chance if the pet has the aggressive, loyal, or brave traits. But 10% less of a chance if the pet has the clueless, lazy, nervous, or skittish traits. And this can only happen once. The pet can only save their sim once. So, and remember, this is Sims 3, so it's cats, dogs, or horses. And starting in Sims 3, so in Sims 2, again, my fave, you could control pets. You could have pets get a job, etc. You couldn't control pets starting in The Sims 3, but so like there's this like 30 to 40% chance that your little fur baby is going to bark you back to life. It's fine. It's fine. Also, train.
If I was a sim, I'd be fucking dead.
As my cat sleeps behind me, same.
My dog is very clueless, lazy. He has anxiety.
Do you have Coward the... What is it? Is it Coward the...
Courage the cowardly
Cowardly dog? Yeah.
He might as well be. He's fucking useless. I love him to death,
Aw.
but Jesus Christ.
For the... No, it's so cute. For the horse lovers out there, hashtag
Vanity.
horses for vanity. If your horse dies in The Sims 3, the Grim jumps on the horse and rides it into the netherworld.
Wait, hold up. Are you telling me the Grim will steal my horse?
Well, the horse dies. He's going away.
Oh, okay.
So
I heard that so wrong. I thought if I die, he steals my horse. But I was like, no. Don't do
He leaves
it.
He leaves you there, unplayable, but he takes your horse. There is also in Sims 2 one of the like weird notes that comes up when you kill everybody on the lot is just like, oh, what can I say about death? Death likes long walks on the beach. Death likes horses. Death is a total horse person. So the fact that he like rides the horse to the netherworld is just fitting with his character.
Cute little callback. Vanity, are you the Grim Reaper? Thoughts?
Interesting. Jessica's the spy from Axis for Yay.
Yeah.
And Vanity might be the Grim Reaper.
A lot of secrets exposed on this episode. Just saying.
We gotta shut this whole thing down.
It's the last episode.
This is it, you guys. We are also dying. Halloween! Anyway.
No.
The podcast is dying. Anyway, it's fine. We do get to see like a little bit more personality every iteration of The Sims, I'd say. So in Sims 3, there's a 20% chance in any death scenario that that Grim just kind of hangs out on the lot after he's done reaping your Sim's life. 5% chance for each Sim that dies. Wait, what? 5%?
Oh, so if you kill like 2 Sims at once, I think. I don't know if you're like mass murdering Sims on a lot or something, but I think it goes like it's 2 Sims die, it's a 30% chance.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
But it like maxes out at 75%, it looks like.
So if everyone at my wedding dies,
he's gonna be around. Don't worry, that food will be eaten. Don't worry about it.
I paid for the buffet table, so they better fucking eat it all.
Yeah. Oh, remember buffet tables?
Those are the best.
I miss them so much from Sims, early Sims. It's what I used to like. Okay, children, there's too many kids here. Just eat the buffet table.
Back when parties weren't a hassle, now I have to order shit and like hire bartenders and chefs that don't cook shit.
Chefs
They
are
just
hot.
hang out.
Sims 4.
They hang out with the party and like mingle, and like it's the end of the party. I didn't get a gold star because the fucking chef didn't make shit for my guests. So
that's if they show up. Sometimes they don't even fucking show up, but you're like, I hired you, ma'am. Could you please?
I paid you.
Carla, do your job. However, Grim Reaper will not hang out if your Sim dives.
Dives.
Fine. There's going to be so many bloopers in this episode of me just making sounds. The Grim Reaper will not hang out if your Sim dies in a diving area, for example, on the Island Paradise lots. If your Sim dies from a vending machine accident, because of course there are vending machine accidents in The Sims 3.
To be more common than you think. More common than you think.
It'll happen. The Grim might stick around and buy a soda to drink. The soda goes right through him and leaves a puddle on the ground, though, because he's just bones. He is only bones.
This is so. I don't. Is it passive aggressive? Just aggressive? Like, I don't. You had to pick now to get your drink, man. Like, what?
Well, he couldn't get it before because you were blocking the vending machine. So
That's true. This one made me laugh. I don't really know why, but I was like, why, man?
Just actively like pissing on your grave, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same puddle animation as like peeing. So there you go.
that reminds me of that TikTok that goes, "I guess I'll just pee on the floor.
Oh, this is.
Pee on the floor."
Is that a Sims trend or just someone who's like, I guess I'll just pee on the floor?
It's a song by a drag queen.
Oh.
Yeah, and they dubbed it, and it's hilarious. And I'm always singing, "I guess I'll just pee on the floor." And my boyfriend gets mad at me. Husband gets mad at me.
Quite an adjustment, eh?
I kind of just want to keep calling him my boyfriend because it's easier, but legally I can't.
Fun fact, you can make a Grim Reaper snowman in The Sims 3. And the music that happens when the Grim starts to come out, which, I mean, seared into my brain because it, like, the fear and the terror of that sound effect coming when, like, you're just minding your own business and you scroll over and grandma's on the floor. It's like that dun, 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 dun. It's very similar to the Imperial March from Star Wars.
It was the worst. It was the scariest in Sims 3. Like, it hit hard in Sims 2, but for some reason in Sims 3 it was just like, oh god.
And there's like a bell tolling in the back and it's like dong gong. It's frightening. It's very scary.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So with Sims 3, there was this offshoot with Sims Medieval, which has recently had a recurrence. Like, it really, in the past, like, year, there's just been a lot of people talking about Sims Medieval.
I want to say that it's Ava. Ava did it.
Yeah. Ava caused the hype, which is true. She was the one praising it before I remember anyone else praising it. So, well, yeah, Ava.
So
good job, Ava.
Suck it, little Simsy.
And everyone else. So props to whoever outfitted the Grim Reaper for Sims Medieval, because holy crap, be gone are the black robes. He has red robe or brown. What would you call this? Brown robes, red,
like a sepia, perhaps.
I think a velvet red. Like if you were to touch it and like run your hands, you could change the colors of it.
He's got black wings, fur at the top, long white hair, a skull on his waist, and like red sand attached. He's just a lot.
He's a dead Santa Claus.
Oh my god. Yes, but scary.
I'm loving the hourglass accessory on the belt. That's a look.
Yes, work, Grim. Walk, fashion. But when he appears, he will make the dead Sim spirit fly into the air, and then he will disappear by going under the earth, taking the corpse of the Sim with him. So in this game, you cannot plead for a Sim's life. I don't think Sims Medieval kind of doesn't have time for ghosts and doesn't have time for you dealing with dead Sims. So it's just like, and they're gone.
Bye.
Grim, he can be moved in with cheats because, of course, he will normally have an evil or morose trait with a random other trait selected. Per usual, making the Grim selectable has been known to cause problems with the game, so not suggested, but you can. And he will be treated like a normal NPC once you add him, I think. I haven't actually had anybody die yet in my medieval playthrough, so I don't entirely know. But he looks amazing. Golf clap.
We stan.
What about Sims 4, Melee? How's he doing in Sims 4? How he do?
Whack. I think this is one of the more like plainer versions of The Sims 4, which just says a lot about The Sims 4 in general. It seems like everything they do is very What's the word? Not
Lackluster.
extra.
You heard the genetics episode will probably come out by the time this comes out. By the time we got to Sims 4, it was like, you create a sim that looks like, yep, they might have a baby. Who knows?
What?
They
Well, 'cause,
don't
like,
try, basically. It's just, yep, a baby.
They kind of they'll look like, the genetics will be like, okay, but it won't be anything to write home about. And that's kind of what the Grim Reaper here is also.
I mean, he has a tablet, which is cool, I guess.
So modern.
He's with the times. In The Sims 4, the Grim Reaper wears a black modern cloak. Okay, honestly, can we give him like hipster glasses though? And he'd be set. He'd be like the millennial Grim Reaper. That's just me reinventing the
It's
Grim
a
Reaper.
look. I support.
Would they be, what color glasses would you give him? Because I don't know if you could see the black spectacles.
Wood, like wood trimmed ones.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ooh.
And like the little mustache, the curly mustache.
You're late for your death appointment.
Exactly, yes. Vibes. I'm gonna stop. I'm going way too into this in my head. Stop it. The Grim Reaper wears a black modern cloak when he's reaping souls. He doesn't have a list anymore. He has replaced it with a tablet where he keeps the death list. If you watch him actually like reaping people, you can see him scrolling and like clicking. It's really cute. I like it. The animation's
I like that
cute.
a lot.
Around his waist, Grims has a note, a skeleton freezer bunny. Any sim on a lot can plead for the life of a sim who recently died. Different moods will affect the plea. Confident sims can demand the Grims spares the sim's life. They have a 40% chance. Flirty sims have a 10% chance and will try to seduce him. Angry sims will yell at death, but aggression never solves anything. So,
Sure
they
don't.
get nowhere. And then me. Sad sims can cry about the dying sim, and that's a 30% chance. And if it has the gloomy trait, it'll be 33%. Tears work, man. You need something, cry about it.
Tears before yelling. That doesn't work. Never mind. I'm out.
Cries before fries. No?
You died. What if I gave you my fries from my Burger King meal? Would you resurrect him?
No? Okay, tears. That kind of works. I've been up since 6 a.m. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Cries before dies.
There you go. Fucking Melissa, you're so stupid.
You're doing great. You're doing
great.
No negative language in this space. Stop it.
Child sim have a better chance of success. Level 5 mischief skills can toy with death using voodoo dolls. Grim will lose the ability to read the sim's life. Successful chance will depend on how many times the sim toys with death before Grim decides to reap the dying sim.
I really need to do stuff with the mischief skill because I don't. And I feel like there's a lot of hidden shit in there. And
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, this kind of becomes into like a fight between voodoo magic and like black magic. I like it.
I'm
kind of
very
like
interested.
that season of American Horror Story with the witches, where they end up relying on the voodoo witches.
That show's too scary
Coven?
for me. I can't watch
Same.
it.
I'm a baby.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I should say I started watching the first season of that show and stopped because it's the house one and there's like the weird BDSM situation. I couldn't watch it not because of the scary house, but because of the weird relationship tension, and I don't do well with that like theme in TV shows.
Oh, I'm just a scaredy cat, and I used to get night terrors constantly as a child, so I just removed myself from any kind of scary situation show-wise, because I'm like, let's not do night terrors anymore. I didn't like it.
It's
So I
a good
avoid.
show. I like it.
I want to like it. I want to watch it. I might just have to skip the first season.
Well, I think you would like the. No, you're not gonna like the witch one that has a
No.
lot of BDSM in it too.
No,
The asylum one. The
It's
asylum
not the
one is good.
BDSM that's the issue. It's 'cause isn't the professor husband like cheating on his wife with a student like that? I was like, no, that's what freaked me out.
In the witch one of the girls gets fucked by a half bull man.
Whoa!
Yeah, so just watch the asylum one. That one
Okay.
is pretty normal.
I did hear there was a very impressive, like in the hotel one, that Lady Gaga had a very impressive like cape situation at one point. That's like one scene that like people told me to watch it for that scene, and I went, no, not
Yeah, the
enough.
hotel one isn't that bad either. That one's one of their more tamer ones
No
in the
capes.
series.
But dramatic
No
cape
capes.
flip. But dramatic cape flip.
No capes.
Okay.
Listen to Edna.
Giving a death flower is the only way to guarantee saving a dying Sim's life. I fucking hate myself.
There's a death flower in 4?
Yes, it is extremely useful, but it's very rare.
Look at how cute it is with the little skull in the center.
That's creepy. I don't like it. It's looking at me.
I don't care for that.
If a sim fails after drinking the potion of prompt resurrection, it's a potion from the Realm of Magic expansion, then the sim will die. And the Green Reaper will always reject your plea, including if you give him a flower. Because magic does not go with death.
I wonder how that mechanic works. The potion of prompt resurrection. There's like a success fail mechanic in there. Like
There
if you
must
drink
be.
it, you might not be resurrected. Interesting.
Well, I guess if you don't make the potion right.
Yeah, there's a chance of
Oh.
failure in almost everything with Realm of Magic. Like even like you could be super spellcasting there, right? There's a small chance of you doing something wrong for almost
Yeah.
anything you make. So
Even my cauldron mac and cheese.
it could be bad. It could have been bad cheese, bad milk.
Oh,
Who's
no.
Imagine like a whole cauldron of bad mac and cheese.
What a bummer. It's such a commitment to a bad thing. What a bummer.
But you know what? It is Grimm's favorite food. A cauldron of bad mac and cheese. With a soda from a death vending machine.
Oh. Grimm may hang around a lot after he's done raping you. I'm sorry. I read that wrong and in my head it turned into something else. Sorry. You can interact with him. That's not how sentences work, Melissa. I also typed this at work. I apologize for that. Let me start all over. Grin may hang around a lot after he's done raping, and you can interact with him. Romantic interactions tend to not go very far. I've tried it. It really doesn't.
He's at work. He's taking a break from work, and people just keep hitting on him. Just so annoying.
Well, it's his fault for being good looking.
It's so unprofessional.
Stop being sexy, Grim. God.
You can add the Grim to your household, but you cannot try for a baby. He doesn't eat, sleep, wash, eat, or go to the bathroom. He cannot feel sad. And if a sim dies after you added Grim to the household, a new Grim will appear to reap the souls. You can add this Grim to the household, and then rinse, repeat. And if you want, a Grim Reaper house.
Well, now I know. House. That's my granny cult goal. Instead of, so Jess's granny cult is just like adopting all the town's children and like loving them. My granny cult is going to be, she is an old witch, and every time they try to kill her, we just add the Grim to the household, and she just collects Grim Reapers.
Or what if it's a competing cult? Like you have your granny cult witches, and then a competing is the Grim Reaper cult.
Yes. Oh my god. Or it's just like Granny, like just adopting all the Grim Reapers. Like, are you tired? Come on in. I'll knit you a sweater. I'll knit you a nice wrap for your scythe.
It's pointy, you know.
Unlike all the other sim games, there are no known issues that happen when you add the Grim to your households.
They finally figured it out. I
mean, they could figure that out, but they can't figure out other shit.
Spiral staircases.
Make it make sense. If you die in the ocean, the Grim will rise up from the ocean and will have a snorkel on. The yarn will be a lifesaver. So the yarn won't be on the lifesaver?
It's like lifesaver? It's in the lifesaver. It's on it, on top of it.
Okay, and that's what I thought. The LOL looks like a drowning person, so that's fair. In conclusion, death, man.
He's everywhere.
He's evolved over the years. He's had questionable fashion choices. But you can't escape death. You just can't. He'll either break your game or clone himself, and then there'll be a new one. So,
can either one of you two confirm this, or can a listener confirm this? Because I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit. I feel like I saw somewhere that if you knit apparently there's like a Grim Reaper toy that you can knit in
the
knitting.
New one. Yeah,
yeah. And if you give it to the Grim Reaper, he like likes it or something, or like doesn't kill you. I'm literally searching in the script for the last Social Bunny we did, and I cannot find it anywhere. Anyway, yeah, that's Grim. That's our boy Grim. It's just one of those tongue-in-cheek sort of recurring jokes and features in all four plus Sims games. You know, he's in Medieval, he's in, some of the console versions. I mean, it's a life simulator, and with life there is always death. So that's been us for our Halloween episode, except for a couple scary Sim stories that we got from you, the listeners. So we're going to read a couple of those now.
Right. Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll read the first one.
Okay.
This one is from Callie. She says, the weirdest glitch that I still don't understand to this day happened when I was playing Sims 2 about a decade ago. I had a family, 2 kids were twins. Happy, normal family. And I log in to play one day, and the little boy and the little girl are playing in the yard. But the boy is a white ghost. They're playing and interacting normally, and then all of a sudden he disappeared, and I got an alert saying, Jack has died off the lot. And everyone started mourning and crying. I never found the body, and he'd never traveled anywhere. I had no mods or anything either. It haunts me to this day.
No.
The phrase, I never found the body, is never a great phrase in any kind of situation.
It's really not great when it's talking about a child. I mean, a virtual one, but still, oh my god. That's terrifying.
Any story that has little boy and little girl playing, I'm automatically dipping out because kids are scary.
Kids are scary. Ghosts, super scary.
Kids are also like, are they screaming because they're having a good time, or are they being murdered?
I think that a lot when I just hear children like in public.
As a former screaming child, I can't confirm. Sometimes they just scream because they want to fucking scream.
Oh yeah, as a former loud kid TM, I so get that also.
As the twin sister of the loud child, yes. Like, so much noise.
Well, at least you're not the twin sister of the ghost boy, so.
Oof.
Who wants the next one?
It only goes up from here.
through this.
Does it though?
Spooky.
This one looks rough.
It was. Okay. It fucked me up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no!
These are some dark. These are probably our darkest what just happens. So strap in.
If we have time, I have my story too, but it's just if we have time. I'll do Georgia's first. So I mentioned this in the group before, but it just happened in her Sims 3 playthrough. Not a glitch, just a tad fucked. My Sim Alicia has 4 kids with Dennis Racket, 2 of whom are toddlers, 2 who are children. He has 2 other kids with his first wife, Lolly and Shark. Forgot how convoluted our Sim stories can get when we make families. Well, Lolly died via story progression. Took me some searching to find her grave, but found out she died via meteor. Ugh. Bit harsh for story progression, but okay. You do you, hun. Anyway, I send my kids to school like normal when I get the "it's getting dark" notification. Next thing I know, a meteor hits the fucking school. Oh my god! Meteor hits the school. I can't save anybody, let alone my 2 kids who both fucking died. It's not funny, but it's funny. About 12 kids from the town died too. Legit, a whole family of kids were wiped out. Some kids, teens, and teachers made it out okay without any help, but like it decimated the kid generation of my town.
The great meteor of 2005. What the hell?
And all the time playing Sims, I've never had a Sim be struck by a meteor or satellite, nor did I know that one. I didn't know one could hit the school either. Holy mackerel. This was a bit of a shock. It was not due to mods or glitches. It's an actual possibility that can happen at any point in your game, totally randomly. Safe to say, I was miffed and a tad sad. My town graveyard is full of fucking ghost children. Ugh. And Dennis Racket's children are apparently fucking cursed because 3 out of 6 got murdered by fucking space rocks. I could have gone back to an earlier save, but like, I live for the drama, not gonna lie. Oh my god.
I mean, and like, we get so attached, you know? Like, yeah, they're little pixels, but like, I raise those pixels.
You make plans for the little pixels.
Yeah.
Hike your kids because you don't know if they'll come back from school or not.
But like a meteor on the school, Sims 3 stands. What do you say to that? Huh?
If it happened to the dinosaurs, it could happen to anyone.
On Instagram, we got a story from the actual meme goddess. One time in The Sims 2, my Sim married one of the apartment townies, but apparently in a different apartment household, he was mid-moving in when I last saved. The game freaked out and clones of him spawned all over the lot. That's terrifying. Any like sudden like spawning of Sims anywhere is like, what, why, what, why? Caitlin, do you remember Tombstone of Life and Death? You could like select something and have it be like, invite all friends to the lot, or like invite all Sims over.
I think the mailbox you could do that.
Yes, that's what it was. And then so I tried it once and like everyone appeared and my game slowed to like a crawl and I was like, And I thought I was like hurting my parents' computer when I was like 13, like the family computer. I'm like, oh God, what do I do? What do I do?
It's just a moment of like, I was
abject
not supposed
panic.
I was not supposed to do this, I guess, because it's protesting.
This is what I get for cheating. Oh God. So what's your scary story?
Oh, it's a Sims 2 story. Picture it.
The scariest ones always are.
I was, we'll say 15. I'm probably lying to my parents, telling them I'm doing homework. And maybe I was while Sims 2 was loading, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm playing my Sims 2 Legacy. It's pretty far in. I think I'm on like the 5th generation. I'm trucking, doing a good job. You know what? Let's order some pizza. So I ordered some pizza, and the pizza never shows up to my Legacy house. Just never shows up, and I'm like, well, that's a bummer. I guess. Okay, I feed them. I send them to bed. Everyone's actually asleep. at the same time. And then I look in the backyard, and there's just a pizza delivery guy standing there in the backyard. No good reason. And like, he's not selectable. I can't move him. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I delete him. And then the next night, there's more pizza delivery guys and also nannies. They just start multiplying and they won't go away. And they're just standing there in the backyard, not moving. And then the game glitched out so bad that I lost my entire save.
No.
The game just crashed, and that's like the last of my Sims 2 stuff. But it was very creepy to be like, finally, all the Sims are asleep. The fuck is that in the backyard? Staring at you. And then I had to do homework. The end.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, guys, I think that does it for our very spooky Halloween episode. It's time for everyone to hop off and watch Hocus Pocus for the 14th time. But before we do, internal drum roll, please. I'm gonna do the plugs. We are waiting for the train to go by.
We needed like a little like music in the background, like those piano ones. While you do the
oh no, that's the Wii. Anyway,
the Wii music works for everything.
It sure does. I sing it all the time. All right, are the cats gonna stop making noise? Great. I got them a new scratching post that looks like a cactus. It's adorable. We are PlumBobCast on Instagram and Twitter. We're PlumBob Podcast on Reddit. We are Under the PlumBob Podcast on Facebook and Tumblr. You can just search for us or our website. Or our website is undertheplumbob.com. There's a contact form on there, or you can just email us directly at undertheplumbob@gmail.com. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. We are back on Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play. We're working to get back on Pandora. They're very finicky, but we will be back on as many platforms as we can be soon. If you are listening to us in a way you don't usually listen to us, and you say, hey, I usually get you from this platform, definitely reach out. We'll get ourselves back up on the one you listen to us at. None of that was grammatically correct, but I stand by it. Big thanks to our writing and research team for this episode. That consisted of Melly and Caitlin. Thank you guys for doing pretty much the lion's share of the work for this episode.
Yay,
and
Dad!
For recording with me.
None of it was right, but...
Yes, it was.
You're welcome.
You were busy today.
I've had a long day.
Thanks, as always, to the wonderful Sims fan sites where we get a lot of our information. Sims Community, Sims VIP, Carl Sim Guides, the Sims Wiki, Simmers Digest, Iron Seagull. I think we gave a shout out to Lil Simsy this episode.
Not
the Sims Wiki.
Way,
you mean when Melly said, suck it, little Sim?
Man, we'll cut it. Close enough. And last but definitely not least, thank you for listening and for loving this game as much as we do. We love you, community. Don't be toxic. Wash your hands. Save your game. Go watch Hocus Pocus. Have a spoopy Halloween. And we're going to go back to the real world. Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Buddies. Dag dag.